Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. Smash the like button on your way in. What's going on, Dixie, Giovanni, WF Capital, and John, KOTR? Does John work for a radio station? Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Bitcoin currently trading at 81, or I'm sorry, wow, that would be devastating. 88, 133. And, oddly enough, the volume is still kind of gone since the weekend, which is pretty crazy. John said the effing F? I don't know. John KOTR. Good morning, San Francisco. Bunch of sound effects. Okay. Bitcoin chilling, 88, 143. Let's go refresh the liquidation heat map and clear these guys up. We did hit some of the shorts, and interesting. Okay, so there seems to be almost no short liquidity, at least on the near term. We've got 89,258. We've got, I'm gonna go all the way up here, 90,368. A little bit of a later stream today, but probably go a little bit longer. 87,778. My numbers have been getting really crazy for the stream. It's been weird. 86,076. One of the stream from like 3 days ago has like almost 300 views. I was like, what? But also there's like a slew of bots shilling some weird meme coin. 87,482. And it's like really bad shills too. They're like, Donald Trump just bought this meme coin. Elon Musk had a baby with this meme coin. 87,038. It's the weirdest FUD. They're like, Walmart just partnered. And I'm like, what is this? This is like the most unbelievable FUD. or unbelievable bull posting for this meme coin. It's crazy. So, I don't know. Bitcoin's slowly climbing. We are kind of riding the moving average up. What's really interesting is that this is all heading into Thanksgiving. John said fixing stuff that ain't broke just to justify jobs. Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. I mean, their stock's going up. Berkshire Hathaway. Maybe that's what it was. He saw that they changed all their names, the screen names, for privacy or whatever, for security. And he was like, hey, I'm going to buy some of that. Bitcoin dominance currently, broke below 59. Let's go. Yeah, allegedly that's for some kind of security. John. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, what's up, gents? What's going on, Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn? Guys, don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Monday. Tisha said, yo, the bounce is here. Exactly as predicted, right? Is that a song? That sounded like you wrote a song. Like a pirate song. What's going on, Tisha? It is exactly as predicted. Dominance go down. Number go up. As you guys are aware, we do, in fact, like number go up. Tom Salcoat said, Google going nuts because their TPU's going to take over the AI game, going to sell to Meta. So should we buy a buttload? Adam Salem said, so is it a cat bounce? I mean, I think a cat bounce would be a good thing. A dead cat bounce is the bad one, which is crazy. It's such a weird saying, dead cat bounce. Like, how many people have thrown a dead cat at the ground so hard that it bounces? That's such a weird saying. Where did that come from? Like, in like the 1930s, were there cats falling out of the sky or something? I guess it did rain cats and dogs at one point. Otherwise, that wouldn't be a saying. ETH is down 0.49% on the day, currently trading at $2,938.84. Tom Selexcoat said Google went up $30 almost today. Should have already bought, or you could be a regard like me and sold your Google at $250. I am actually very regarded. I am mentally regarded. Everybody knows. So ETH is definitely going to play around with 3K. That's going to be a thing for sure. Dixie's messing around with it. Dixie, did you see the peen of dumpiness? I'm very proud of the peen of dumpiness. The peen of dump. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, this is a mature, family-friendly channel. I forgot. Don't tell Mythical about that. So 3K is going to be a point of. We're going to call it a point of interest on ETH specifically because of its psychological implications, as well as on the chart. It's just relevant on the chart every time we get to 3K. It was immense level of support back here. It's never really been hard resistance, so if we do have the strength to get up there, we should, be strong enough to break through it. WF Capital said, can't lose if you never sell. Exactly. 1000%. Tom Selleck's said, the term dead cat bounce comes from the saying, even a dead cat will bounce if you drop it from high enough, meaning a short-lived recovery in a declining market that is not a sign of a true revival. That's fair. John said, gonna change my Google account to @eatmyassGoogle. It's actually Eat Maya Google, if they ask. That way you can get away with it. And then if they deny you, then sue them for discrimination or something. Tom Selleck said the phrase was popularized by Wall Street analyst Raymond DeVoe Jr. in the 1980s. So Raymond DeVoe Jr. was like a serial killer, a closeted serial killer, murdering small animals and throwing them from high places. Solana is down 0.12% on the day. And when I say on the day, know that the day is only like an hour and a half so far, because the daily close was an hour and a half ago. What I do like about Solana is we are back above our neckline. This neckline back here, from this beautiful textbook inverse head and shoulder breakout, retest, confirmation to new all-time highs, by the way. We extended all the way, and it has been relevant several times throughout this entire market. And again, it has made itself relevant. We did reject for a short period of time over the weekend and have since gained some strength around 129 and blasted right through. Oh, geez. And we're currently sitting at 138 right now. Can we get above 140 and then eventually above the upper trend line from this very, very long-term triangle pattern? Or what else could we call it? Channel, from this long-term channel that we've been in. I guess we're looking to get above 145, I think. 145 is a good number. Volume looks really nice on this move. I'm liking that. RSI looks great. We are bouncing above that moving average on a regular basis. And we got a green dot on the momentum wave, also pointing to the upside. About to enter overbought, though. So keep an eye on that. Tom Selleck said, the more you know, and Tichu said, John, your handle reminded me of Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR. That's actually sick. He's just Knights of the Republic because we already know John's old. So you don't have to put the O in there, the extra O. It's just Knights of the Republic. Cheers, guys. Delicious. What was that? That was a fun sound. Okay, total 3 is up 0.22% on the day, dancing around 80 or 883. We're at 881.5 right now. I'm liking this strong recovery. It looks really good. We got a sudden green candle above 857, which is quite topical. It's weird when the lines work out. It's pretty weird. It makes me feel smart, wicked smart. So we got to bounce off of the lower trend line, which is kind of what we were looking for. And now we're heading towards the upper. I guess I would look for a breakout. If I was trying to sell you this as a bull, if I was trying to sell you a bullish continuation off of this, I would tell you this was a fake out and you're about to break above the upper trend line and continue up and then eventually, hopefully, get above 960. But I'm liking 881 right now. Let's see where we go from here. We do have a confirmed green dot in market cipher, which is huge. And that is at the Pico bottom. Green dot on the momentum wave. We're trading well above the moving average. It is down 0.07. We are sitting above 42 though, which is good. Can we make our way back towards 50? And is this going to come into play? It kind of is, actually. So that's acting as some interim resistance right now. Let's see if we can break above it, retest, and confirm support, and then get above 50 cents next. Otherwise, if we do properly reject, I would like to hold 42. Volume could be a little bit better. RSI looks good. Momentum wave has a green dot. Let's see where she ends up. You guys want me to look at anything specific, let me know. XRP having a nice day as well. It's up 1.36% since the daily close, which is not that long ago. Currently trading at 225.85. Can it get above 228.68 next? Reese pointed out, WF Capital, that SWFTC went up like 150%. That's pretty sick. Zebec now in the Bloomberg Index, and on NatPay and FedNow. That's actually crazy. Okay. So XRP looks good. You know what's funny is my boss said he wanted to buy some. And he said it like down here. But he never set up anything to buy it. So now every day he's just telling me that he wants to buy some. And it's up like 10% since he said that. 20%. Whoa! Oh my gosh. It's up 20%. Jeez. H-Bar had an interesting weekend. Mr. Roberts said, hello, JJ. He said, hey, JJ. Hello, good people. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? H-Bar, ETF H-Bar, by the way, had a little bounce off this lower trend line. Danced around, did a little, we'll call it a high heel. I believe CryptoFace calls it like a stiletto pattern or something. But it had a bounce off the lower trend line, stiletto, and then continuation. Let's call that a W or a double bottom. This got really spicy on, I think, Sunday. Yeah, out of nowhere, which was really interesting because we all know about the ETF, and then it came down and it held this 14-cent support really nicely. So 15.93 is the next in play. Volume looks great over here as well. This is what altcoin volumes should look like when they're bullish. RSI is bouncing off the moving average, which is great. We got a green dot in the momentum wave. Further upside is possible, for sure. Did I look at Link yet? Not yet, no. Let's go take a look at ZBCN. ZBCN. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't know much about this project. I believe it's AI. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong entirely. But I do believe that it is AI. And I think that it's like proper AI. It's not just shoehorned into the AI category on CoinMarketCap. I could be completely wrong. I should probably just stop digging the hole, just in case I am wrong. But we're sitting at 0.0033. I don't have any lines on this chart, really. I feel like I've looked at this before, too. There we go. Okay. Let's get above 3.6 and then eventually 4. I don't like that we're below that, but I don't mind it. We've been below it before. We would have some nice long-term support here, which it actually, look at that. Resistance, resistance, you broke above it, didn't touch it here, came all the way over here, and then this was the retest. Is that going to send this thing into the stratosphere, is the question. That's interesting. Okay. AI, not AI, payroll services? Really? Okay. Well, then I'm completely wrong. Stilettos and double bottom is what I tuned in for. Exactly. I have a really funny story, actually. See a lot of people talking about XCN now. I'm not an XCN guy. I don't like how they like print like an infinite quantity of their token. And I can't even find a good chart, dude. What the heck? Kraken, nope. Is it Coinbase? I don't remember what chart it is. MXC, BMX. It's got to be KuCoin, right? KuCoin? HTX or KuCoin? It's KuCoin. Okay. Yeah, this thing's been kind of going down forever. And I've said this a couple of times. it does pop when they want it to go up, but it's like a rewards token, so they kind of have to print it infinitely. Look at that. So if you're a gambler and you like to play it, great. If not, I would stay away from it personally because I'm kind of a weenie and it's too risky for me. But again, they do have big moves when they wanted to have a big move. Okay, H bar, SWE is up 1.2% today. SWE got interesting as well. Oops. Look at that. That thing popped yesterday. 8.92% candle. It is back in its range. This is what I've talked about 1,000 times, guys. Whenever we have a wedge or any kind of descending channel or anything like that, the first breakout is always fake. It's always a false move. Now, that's not to say it's going to go up from here. I think it's going to, but it's very possible that it rejects and then just continues down. RSI looks decent. It is almost overbought, so be careful. We got a lot of green dots on Market Cipher. It looks good. Mr. Roberts said, fat bottom gals make the rockin' world go round. Tishu said Jordan predicted the relief rally 5 days ago. Mr. Roberts said, LOL. Reset, massive buy. Just keep buying under 1 cent. It's about to go off. Gorman Barnes Brooklyn. XCN is good, but ZBCN is better. I was in XCN from 002 to 06. Tishu said, is Atom a rewards token too? Staking APY is high. Ooh, I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Let's see. Yeah, max supply is infinite. They probably print the shit out of it in order to pay off that. Yep, look at that. All in Bits Inc. Block rewards. Seed. Interchain. Okay, so those are all done. These 3 are done. Block rewards is what they're minting to infinity, and same with All in Bits Inc. And they show you right here, it's only a small amount, but that 6.54% of, I don't know, 1.2 billion. Jeez, a lot of money. So yeah, yep. Anyways, SWE sitting at 154.85, just above 154.67. Can she continue up? Probably. Looks pretty good. Ondo. Okay, Ondo's at 0.5. I would like to see it close above 0.5 and continue to the upside. We need to see all of these nice pushes to the upside maintain themselves and continue to the upside in order to hopefully remain bullish. Arrow is down 2.15% on the day, currently trading at 68.64. Pinlink is up 1.22%. Yeah, everything that isn't up like crazy today, up like crazy, 1%, is just going sideways. Nothing too crazy going on. What's nice about this one is it's probably just going to dance around that moving average and continue to bleed up, which is nice. We like that. Avalanche. Avalanche held its legacy bottom. Looks really good, honestly. This was a huge buy for me. Huge buy signal because it's held this line since 2020. It came back down in 2023 and it just did it again in 2025. So there's not a lot of confluence, so it is kind of a gamble, but it seemed like a no-brainer gamble for me because I like Avalanche and I don't pay too close attention to a lot of blockchains, but I always seem to see the Avalanche news, and that to me shows that they're actually doing a good job at getting people talking about it. And that's just my personal take. Chainlink is down 0.08% on the day. Looks like we're playing around with 13. Can we get back above it? We're sitting at 1296. We got a nice monstrous break of this 1268 level, which was nice. RSI is well above the moving average. and we got a green dot on market cipher pointing to the upside. Next stop, hopefully 1339. Reese said, yes, I agreed. Or no, I'm sorry, that was Gourmet Brands Brooklyn. Reese said 3,000%. Jasmine, ZBCN are the two best, maybe Natix too. Manny Vera said, do you think Bitcoin will come down to 77K? Then a true last run before a big correction? I don't know, actually. 77K, I'm not entirely sure. I've heard a lot of people talk about 77. Reese said, hard to predict anything Bitcoin right now. New institutional volume. I don't think they would just not have a bull run and lose money. It doesn't make sense. It will happen. Just DCA. So many big players first bull run. There will be massive bull run, I still believe. I'm the same on that. Mr. Roberts said, fair call on AVAX, JJ. Thank you. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said, it's a big bag, Manny. People are saying we might see another drop if no rate cut and if government data is not positive, but you never know. I think we're going to get a rate cut. And I'm kind of kicking myself because I didn't take that stupid bet on Polymarket when it dropped so much. They said that there was like less than 30% chance for a rate cut or something like that. Now it's like way in the positive. So I'm kind of pissed. I think you can cash it out at any time too. So I could have cashed out right now and made bank. Doge. I believe Doge had their first ETF, or at least ETP, start trading today, which is exciting. The price not yet reflecting any bullish news of the sort, but who knows? Sometimes the ETF announcement is a nothing burger as well, but I believe that they have to buy in order to accumulate. Like if people are buying the ETF, they have to buy Doge to put it into the ETF. So that would result in a pump in price, which is during the market hours. So unfortunately, like we're talking about tokenization and stuff, but right now with the ETFs, Wall Street is kind of absorbing crypto, which I think is why we also don't have any moves on the weekends. We used to have fun weekends. Man, look at Near. So if Near's going to do what Avalanche just did, then unfortunately for the near term, pun intended, it's probably coming down to around 130, 140. And it's sitting at 192 right now. I don't have the balls to short it because I'm really, really bad at shorting. But that's my guess right now if it's going to be bearish at all. There's no reason to think it will, but you never know. Silver's also continuing to be very interesting. We obviously have this broader potential flag thing, but in the shorter term as well, we have, I'm going to call it this, and it looks like it might be breaking out on the top. The question is it going to get above the current all-time high of around 54? I have no idea. Let's see. Reset. Yeah, can't just have all these big companies come in, then all of a sudden the 4-year cycle magically stops the first time institutions come in, and it's just them finding out they can manipulate it easier than the stock market. Exactly. That I think is the biggest thing that people are overlooking is all of these institutions and big players are buying Bitcoin. And everyone's like, oh, the bull market's over, the 4-year cycle. That's the only metric that they're using for this their whole reasoning is, oh, the 4-year cycle. Oh, it's about that time. That is the most flimsy structure to stand on, and to stand on business as well. You know, putting their money where their mouth is, opening shorts, thinking that we are going into bear market. Don't get me wrong, the price has fallen, but have we gone into a 12-month-long bear market? I don't know. Business cycle says no. That's just my opinion, though. Manny Barra said, last time we got a rate cut, we got a dump. Oh, yeah, it's definitely a short-term, a little poopy-doopy. What I'm kind of excited for is if we're going to learn about these tariffs getting decimated. So there's two bullish scenarios with tariffs. They either get made illegal by the Supreme Court and they go away, That would be huge for the market. The market would explode. Or we get a $2,000 stimulus, and everyone's going to go, ooh. But my favorite thing that I've seen recently, just recently, is people saying people aren't going to take their stimulus and put it into crypto. Nobody did that last time. Guys, I literally did that last time. I did that exact thing. I took every single stimulus that I received and I put it into crypto. Because fortunately for us, most of us still have jobs. And in order to receive the stimmy, in most cases, you have to pay taxes. And if you're paying taxes, you probably have a job. So you're not going to use the stimmy to like buy a new TV or like pay your electric bill or whatever. You're just going to gamble with it. That's my rebuttal. And I'm not trying to blanket statement, but I am, because gaslighting and gatekeeping is my favorite pastime. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Mr. Barber said, Gourmet, I was looking at S&P 500 beats this Q3 earnings. 95% have reported an 83% beat. I think 78 also reported IP ward guidance. I can't fade anything right now, lol. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, I think it went from 35% to 77% because New York Fed press came out with some dovish wording, and he's known for his word. Yes, that is true. Tishu said, if you want some hopium, since we think retail never arrived, that could mean a tame bear. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good point as well. I'm also willing to admit that we technically are in a bear market right now. My mindset this whole time has been that we never entered a bull market, but Bitcoin did have a monumentous run. I would, if you took me to court and tried to sue me for those words, I would tell you that I think Bitcoin just reached fair valuation. And the reason I don't think that we had a traditional bull market is because there was nothing traditional about it. We hit an all-time high before the halving. There was no altcoin euphoria, no euphoria at all. And to that, I would try to sell you a shorter bear market if you insist that we did enter a bull market. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, don't get me wrong, I'm bullish, but I won't be surprised for a pullback before the end of the year to write off winnings. That too, yeah. People like to watch trade. So yeah, we got silver. We got a couple of flags we're looking at on silver. We're still below 52, which is interesting. Getting above that is going to be a big deal in my brain. We got our confirmed red dot on market cipher on the second peak, which is interesting. We'll see if that... actually, we had a confirmed red dot on the top first one as well. So we'll see if those will have played out or not. Gold, on the other hand. Ram is in a bull market, lol. Ram, like the Dodge truck. But that's like the goofiest thing in the world to me. I don't know if they still do that, but I remember there was a certain like couple of years of Dodge truck models where they put Ram in big capital letters on the ass of the truck, and I was like, that's kind of gay. Like, here's my big truck, which is very bubble shaped, by the way. There's a lot of bubbly, bulgy, we'll call it, panels on that truck, and then the ass just says Ram. Big capital letters. Ram my ass. That's the goofiest shit I've ever seen. That's the worst design decision ever. And people still bought them. Blows my mind. Every time I see one of those on the road, I die laughing. So gold is still in this gigantic consolidation triangle situation. Is it going to break out? And is it going to be bullish or bearish? I don't know. We are still within it, which is interesting. We did get a confirmed red dot at this first peak, or around this first peak, just beforehand. And then we got another one right here at this peak. So I'm kind of excited to see if we break bullish or bearish out of this, and which one maintains itself. DXY, very sideways today. Strategy up 5%. Very nice. We'll see if they can get a recovery. Apparently, JP Morgan is shorting strategy. NASDAQ. Beautiful recovery out of the NASDAQ. Let's see if the NASDAQ fractal becomes suddenly relevant, or if it's a dud. And the S&P 500 Ask Fractal 3.0 is officially in play. What's it going to be, ladies and gentlemen? Only time will tell. I'm very excited. Bitcoin dominance 58.68, continuing to plummet. This is quite exciting. And I did predict for some reason Wednesday, November 26th, to be the start of the straight down only period for dominance that would hopefully result in some altcoin pumpage, but we will see what happens. Bitcoin itself, 87,811 and 1 penny. We are chilling. So I got to tell this stupid story first because it's really funny. My boss, today we laid sod and I about died. But before I died, the boss shows up with the flatbed with the sod on it. And he wants to take it off so that he can go and get another trailer. Well, the jack that is like bolted to the trailer is bent about like almost 120 degrees flat. So you cannot use that. You have to either use, we've been using the tractor, but we don't have a tractor on the job site. So he wants to use his bottle jack for his truck. And I go, he's like, we got to get a trailer off. And I'm like, we can't do that with the sod on it. It's going to roll down the hill. And he's like, we can just jack it off. I was like, what? You want to jack it off? And he goes, yeah, we can just jack. And I was like, I just looked at him and then he started laughing. He realized what he said. And I'm like, damn, you really want to jack off the trailer? Oh, shit. I'm never, ever, ever going to let him live that down. That was fucking hilarious. We could just jack it off. I was like, oh, shit. I don't want any part of this. Damn. Oh, man, that was so good. It was so stupid. All right, news articles. We've got Fed Governor Christopher Waller says he's advocating for interest rate cut at the December meeting. Just in, Senator Cynthia Lummis slams J.P. Morgan for its anti-crypto policies. Policies like J.P. Morgan's undermine confidence in traditional banks and send the digital asset industry overseas. F you, J.P. Morgan. So did y'all jack it off or what? We did end up jacking it off after we got the sod off. So we removed the sod and then we proceeded to jack off the trailer. It was a successful jack off. President Trump accepts invitation. Speaking of jacking off, President Trump accepts invitation to visit Beijing in April and invites President Xi Jinping for a U.S. state visit later that year. Literally, all I can picture is them like skipping around Disneyland in their various, meeting areas. That would be hilarious if they only met in places that had Disneyland. I don't think that Xi Jinping is a fan because Winnie the Pooh is Disney. Actually, technically, it's public domain now, so anyone is Disney. Or anyone is Winnie the Pooh, I'm sorry. Eric Trump shows off America Bitcoin mining facility. This is actually pretty sick. Apparently, it's all liquid cooled. I don't know if I've ever heard the guy talk before. He's got a very interesting voice. Very sailor-esque. This one cracked me up. 89K Bitcoin today versus last week. Totally true. Marty Party posted Altcoin season. I thought that was interesting. Stablecoin mint 500 million USDC issued by Solana by the US Treasury. On Solana by the US Treasury. What? I'm now convinced the Treasury is issuing short-term T-bills and digitizing them into stablecoin, which goes into digital assets to rebase the debt in 2027. Okay, so that's why he said that. I was like, I had to do a double take for a second. So this part is a little conspiracy theory, tinfoil hatty, but it's not necessarily wrong. This is what I've been talking about for forever. With stablecoins, since you can basically like tokenize debt, can't you, like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, the national debt for the United States is out of control. It's like however many trillion. What if we just took that? What if we just took that and made it into a stable coin? And then we used it to pay it off. And then it kind of like absorbs itself. Like a snake eating its own tail. Ouroboros. I'm just saying. That's about as legitimate as paying off the debt gets, if I'm being completely honest. Because it's fake money. So technically it's fake debt. Pretty funny concept. I like it. I enjoy it. There's a growing pushback against JP Morgan from wealthy industrialists. Let's freaking go. This one's crazy. China is experiencing an unprecedented decline in investment. Fixed asset investment in China fell 1.7% year over year during the first 10 months of 2025, the worst decline on record. In October alone, investment dropped 12%, making the fifth consecutive monthly decline. Property investment remained the biggest drag, falling 14.7% year over year in the first 10 months of the year. That's crazy. Infrastructure spending rose just 0.1% year over year despite ongoing stimulus. Growth momentum in the world's second largest economy is fading fast. Liquidity on Chain said, "Hey bro, how you doing? I'm doing pretty dang good actually. How you doing, my friend?" Alphabet stock Google surges over 5% in pre-market trade as AI stocks extend two-day gains. This makes Alphabet now a $3.8 trillion company, just 6% away from being larger than Apple. Dang. You know what's crazy is I own a Google Pixel, so when Google flips Apple, I'm gonna become the snootiest little bitch that ever lived, and it's gonna be hilarious. Liquidity on Chain said, "Good man, thanks for asking." Hell yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Morgan Stanley on AI bubble fears. Any weakness in the short term is an opportunity to add long exposure into 2026. Morgan Stanley is now calling for a 1,000 point rally in the S&P 500 over the next 12 months to 7,800. Use the volatility to your advantage. Hell yeah. Adam Kobayashi, regarding the Morgan Stanley AI bubble fears. Waiting for the new headline in 12 months from now, the S&P 500 crashes from 8,000 to 7,800 on AI bubble fears. That's pretty much about what it would be. What if I said, tell us about shirt today? This is my newest addition to the shirt collection. It is black, and it is Spider-Man. And on this one, I was laughing. I laugh at this one because it looks like, usually it's pretty goofy. I have one where his leg is up, and the other one's like bent. The Spider-Man art is always the craziest art. I don't know why he has to pose like that. This one in particular does look like he's taking a poop. He's taking a Spidey poop. The question is, does his poop come out covered in webs? Or is it just regular poop? My second question is, do spiders poop? I don't know. Tishu said, USD stablecoin adoption around the world can make the dollar even stronger against all other fiat currencies. That could be Trump's crypto support agenda and making money, of course, 1,000%. And if we have like and think of all the money that like Visa and MasterCard make, and then think of all the money that all of these cryptocurrencies make. Tron is allegedly the most popular payment rail for moving stablecoins around. Now think about that applied to, let's call it whatever the US dollar the official like federal US dollar stablecoin would be called. Let's call it Fed USD or whatever the hell we want to call it. If they made Fed USD and made its own chain and use that for this global digital dollar, the fees baked onto the chain going back to the United States, and it's global, you could basically like tax or fee every global transaction, and we would just be raking in that money. Oh my gosh. I think that's huge. I never even really thought about that, to be completely honest. Today's the first day that I really thought about it. Mr. Robert said, Waterfly said, I took 4 poops today. Good for Spidey. Very nice. Waterfly said, good. Hi, mister. Mr. Robert said, hey. And Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, be right back. He's probably going poop. Regulate your bowels, guys. Prostate cancer is a real thing. Tisha said, serious question. How can any percent be higher than 100? LOL. What do you mean? It's percentage gains. So 100%, you're doubling your money. That makes sense? 200%, you're tripling your money. I'm just saying. JJ Math. Breaking. U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick says President Trump is considering allowing NVIDIA to sell advanced AI chips to China. This would be a massive shift in policy, with NVIDIA currently assuming zero AI chip sales to China. That would actually be huge. That would be very huge. China, I like that they're saying this every single day now to like make people make people normalize it. Tisha said not about money. What's not about money? I need more context. Breaking: China says President Trump and China's President Xi held a phone call this morning. The Nasdaq 100 extends gains to nearly 1.5% on the day. China's President Xi says U.S.-China trade relations maintained positive momentum after his call with President Trump this morning. Xi also adds that the U.S. and China should expand their list of cooperation. This comes just minutes after news emerged that Trump is considering allowing NVIDIA to sell advanced AI chips to China. Very cool. Breaking. Here's my question. How can we not just, like, why is NVIDIA the monopoly here? Can't China just, like, make their own? Am I crazy in thinking that? Like, they have like the minerals and the precious metals and all that stuff to do so. So like, what's stopping them from doing that? Is that a stupid question? It just feels weird. Like, are they that reliant on us? Are we that codependent on each other? Because that sounds kind of gay. I'm just saying. NVIDIA erases losses and rises 2.5% on the day as optimism grows over U.S.-China trade relationship. Very cool. Dixie said no chips to China. They don't get any potato chips. Sentiment is shifting again. Today, AI bubble callers are now beginning to wonder if AI is the next big thing again. As a result, many of the large AI names are up 5% or more. The cycle of AI bubble to AI is the next big thing is happening even more frequently now at an even faster pace. As sentiment swings, so does investor capital, and so do AI stocks. Utilize periods of sentiment polarity to your advantage. Objective investors will win the most in this market. Breaking: unemployed Americans with 4-year college degrees now make up a record 25.3% of total unemployment. The percentage has doubled since the 2008 financial crisis. This comes as over 1.9 million workers aged 25 plus with at least a bachelor's degree are now unemployed. That sucks. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate for Americans aged 20 to 24 is up to 9.2%, the highest since May 2021. This rate has risen plus 2.2 points year over year, an increase not seen outside recession. The U.S. labor market is weakening across all education levels. Here's my question. I have a question. I went to a college that has since shut down. I filed for forgiveness in like 2012, and I was denied. Then during Biden's presidency, they realized that a bunch of people were just denied without an actual like evaluation. And instead of like evaluating it, they just forgave my student loans. So I had like $14,000 in student loans that just disappeared, which I'm incredibly grateful for. However, are my college credits still like valid? Like if I wanted to go back to college, because I did drop out, but if I wanted to go back to college, could I technically use those credits that I kind of got for free? Like that's a genuine question. I don't know if I could even reference them. I don't know how that whole system works because the college did disappear. And the big trouble situation was that the credits couldn't transfer to begin with. So I'm just curious, like other people with credits that maybe can transfer, do they just get free college, like free college? I don't know. It's kind of a crazy situation. Dixie said, we don't have the resources, in my opinion, to contain AI. It's too much of a money pit. Loss for companies to continue to develop AI much more forward. Again, my option, think AI bubble pops next year. That actually lines up with the 2026 thing. What if I said if we get to 12%, Trump will get us in a war? 12% what? Tisha said, I asked ChatGPT, how can any percent be higher than 100%? When someone agrees with you and says 1000% agree. Please single short sentence. Oh. It's just emphatic exaggeration to show extremely strong agreement, not a literal percentage. Yeah, Tishu. Don't be such a buzzkill, man. Dixie said, we don't. Okay, read that. What if I said no real college will accept credits, my guess? That's probably what it is with me in particular. All right. then I could. What would be funny is if I did that, and then they're like, "We don't accept your credits." Then I went, "I paid for these." Is that messed up? It's kind of a funny joke. Okay. Continuing fear and greed, S&P 500 is down 3% from its record high and up 110% points today. Meanwhile, extreme fear remains in the market. Once again, this is not what you see before a crash. Exactly. S&P 500 earnings are incredibly strong. S&P 500 revenue growth is on track to reach plus 8.4% year over year in Q3 2025, the highest since Q3 2022. This figure reflects results from around 95% of companies that have already reported, combined with analyst estimates for those yet to report. If this holds, it would mark the second consecutive quarterly improvement. The strength has been broad-based, with all 11 sectors reporting positive year-over-year revenue growth so far in Q3. This has been led by information technology, healthcare, and communication services, which are on track to post gains of 16%, 10.4%, and 10% respectively. Corporate earnings growth is gaining momentum, aka number go up. What if I said, did you enroll in Trump U? I did not, no. Unfortunately, mine had a dumber name somehow. Dixie said, we know what unemployment numbers are. I haven't seen an update for unemployment numbers yet. The last one that we got, let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Forgive me, I'm multitasking. Unemployment. September 5th, it looks like. September 5th. What? On November 20th. U.S. unemployment rate surges to 4.4%. Here it is. Bad news is good news for stocks. As the U.S. unemployment rate surges to 4.4%, its highest in 4 years, stock market futures are surging. Why is this happening? The reality is that the Fed is being forced to cut interest rates into one of the strongest stock markets of all time. Because even as the AI revolution takes off, the Magnificent Seven exceeds 20 trillion in market cap, Americans are struggling. The labor market is weak, affordability is at record lows, and over 60% of Americans believe we are in a recession. This is exactly why we continue to reiterate own assets or be left behind. As the Fed cuts rates to save Main Street, Wall Street will skyrocket as Fed adds fuel to the roaring fire. We have two economies in the U.S., asset owners and non-asset owners. The U.S. wealth gap will hit unprecedented levels. Okay. Tishu said, did you see how to get short answers from AI could be useful since I sometimes don't want to read whole paragraph or a silly question? I have seen that. Sometimes I like the word salad. What if I said, I don't think Fed cutting again this year? I think they are. But I'm an optimist. Is the market positioning itself for a year-end rally? U.S. equity fund inflows have averaged plus 70 billion in December over the last 10 years, excluding election years, the highest among any month. This is more than double the average seen in October and November. If this trend holds, equity funds are set for one of the biggest net inflows on record next month. The historic surge is likely to be driven by retail investors. This comes as retail net inflows into equity ETFs hit plus 160 billion in September and October, the highest 2-month total since the post-election surge in November-December 2024. According to JP Morgan, the Santa rally setup looks increasingly likely. Very cool. We don't like JP Morgan though. Fuck them. John Tujo said AI will get us a UBI. That is honestly where they're gonna, in my opinion, and this is kind of contrary to what Dixie said, which is not to say that I disagree with them, but if would be a good middle ground. If AI continues at this rate, and unemployment may be a direct result of this AI growth continuation. I think that we're either going to have universal basic income, or we are going to have some kind of regulation where companies with AI, using AI in place of employees, are going to have to maintain a certain level. Like the government example, complete, you know, throwing shit at the wall example, the government could step in and say, listen, if you are trying to replace your staff with artificial intelligence, you have to maintain 75% of your staff no matter what. You can replace all of them with AI, and you can put the staff elsewhere and basically like double your workload, but you have to maintain a minimum of 75% of your current staff. And then, it'll be like rent. They can allow them to fire and replace positions with AI over a longer period of time. I don't know. Who knows? It's a mess. John said it will start with no taxes for us, then grow from there. Why do we even pay taxes? I just realized recently that taxes like literally don't even cover the expenses. It's the biggest goof in the world to me. Imagine if we didn't pay taxes. How much more money would go into the economy from us like spending that money at the store maybe? Or like on goods and services? It just seems counterproductive to me. Anyways, Grayscale Doge started trading on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA, making it the first Dogecoin exchange traded product in the US. Very cool. Jack Mallers, JP Morgan Chase threw me out of the bank. Strike CEO says his account was terminated without any detail or explanation. That sounds about right. Crypto.com Visa card holders in the UK can now add their card to Google Pay. That was pretty cool. Dixie said AI gives out shit data, and you still need to know a bit what you're doing to exactly make something besides a silly image. AI can help to debug, but doesn't know everything. That is actually really true. I've seen way too many. I was actually just talking to Zach about this. Seen way too many times where I ask AI to do something, and then it's like gives me a bunch of information. Like right now, I would ask it like, "What's the state of the market right now?" Crypto specifically, and it would be like Bitcoin fell under 85K and maintains the price below. And I would have to tell it, Bitcoin's at 87K. What are you talking about? And then it would go, oh, you're right. My bad. I don't know what it does. It just references the first thing it sees about Bitcoin. And that thing happens to be like 3 or 4 days old or something. It's the weirdest thing. And then I asked it to make a picture of very specific people the other day. Very specific people, like prominent enough to where the AI would know how to make a picture of these people. None of those people were Elon Musk or affiliated with Elon Musk. And it gave me a picture with, no joke, 2 Elon Musks standing next to each other. What the fuck? Blew my mind. I was like, what? Dixie said bad data in equals bad data out. It really is just like a data blender. What if I said, you don't want taxes? Okay, no police or firefighters or ambulance. Who said anybody wants taxes? Or doesn't want taxes? I just said, I don't understand why we pay taxes. Because they're going to pay the police and firefighters and ambulance and everything with or without taxes, because we're deficit spending regardless. I will gladly pay for police and firefighters and stuff. I'll pay all my local taxes. Federal just seems like a huge waste. John said, hold till 2030. That's the timeline. Some AI has real-time data, some don't. That's the thing, though. I think it does. And it just doesn't reference it sometimes. Okay. Bitcoin. This one's huge. Bitcoin mining is quietly resurging in China, according to Reuters. The country now accounts for 14% of global hash rate. That's huge. Bitmine immersion added 69,000, missed opportunity by the way, 69,822 ETH last week, boosting its treasury to 3.63 ETH, 3.63 million ETH. MetaMask Mobile launches perps trading for 150 plus tokens and select US equities with up to 40x leverage directly. It's pretty crazy. This is a PSA for everybody out there. Over 400 NPM packages, not sure what that is. Including key ENS and crypto libraries, were hit by a worm-style attack, stealing dev credentials and wallet keys. So be careful with your crap out there, guys. Bullish, a new wallet matching Bitmine's usual withdrawal pattern, received 80.8 million in ETH from Falcon X indicating Tom Lee is continuing to buy the dip. What a freaking legend. Crypto Fear and Greed Index has inched higher but remains deep in extreme fear, currently sitting at 19. Big. Amazon is investing up to $50 billion to boost U.S. government AI and supercomputer systems. Very cool. Going back to what Dixie mentioned about AI as well, I guess if I was to try to make that argument, I would tell you it's not necessarily a bubble Ponzi setup, kind of like the year 2000, the kind of like the like, what do you call it, the computer bubble. I don't think it's like that. I would actually equate it more to the moon landing, the race to it, and then we get there and it's kind of a nothing burger and it doesn't really benefit us, and then you know eventually it just kind of becomes like this overwhelming expense that doesn't really help us for how much money gets put into it. Mr. Roberts said, I think they'll cut waters. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said, I'm back. Had to make believe I was interested in wife's work drama. Dang. That's mean, man. Sometimes there's work drama. Sometimes it is a little wordy, though. I get it. I get into that shit, though. I think it's also because I grew up with, like, after my dad died when I was 12, I just listened to my sisters and my mom all the time. So I kind of grew up with it. It's definitely an acquired taste, for sure. And it also depends on the drama. You can only hear about the same stuff so many times. You know what I mean? I'm going to stop talking about it, though, just in case you got me on speaker. I don't want you to get in trouble. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. Dixie said, race to get there. Why then sell to China? We want to be number one. Let them build their own chips. That's what I was saying earlier. That's literally what I was saying. They have everything to build. Like, we made it very clear that they have all the stuff that we need to build, and we just have, like, the facility, the company. Why can't China build their own chips? If they're so, and that's their stereotype, by the way. The stereotype that Chinese people get, the only stereotype that I've seen from Chinese people is that they're crazy smart. They are insanely smart. Wouldn't their chips be better than ours? Why would they want our chips? Wouldn't that be a matter of national security too? Like, as the president of China, I don't think I would want to be using American-made, American-controlled chips for my AI, because I would just assume that would be, I don't know, monitoring my entire, like, financial system. Who knows? Whatever they fear. The, like, insecurities amongst governments. It's the goofiest shit in the world, man, I swear. Why can't we just be a utopia? Everyone's got to have their stupid little club. Institution and retail buyers are piling back into spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. BlackRock's wallet added 2,269 Bitcoin, nice, $197 million, and 10,629 ETH, $10 million in just the last 2 hours. Wow. John Tujo said, because aliens, bro, we got the tech. That's fair. I saw somebody recently mentioned that allegedly there's a rumor floating around that Trump is going to come out and tell us that there is, like, he's going to acknowledge, or I don't know, inform us of, like, confirmed alien life. And I was like, damn, that's going to be when the Epstein files come out. He's going to be like, here's the Epstein files. Also, this is an alien. And the alien's going to come out. He's going to be like, bleep. And everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, aliens. And then they're just going to be like, whoops. And the Epstein files are going to fall into a fire. They're going to be like, that was the only copy that we had. Oh no. Dixie said, I'll send you a fun video how China Frankenstein's black market chips together. That's actually kind of sick. Send it. Send it. Today, Donald Trump said he had a very good call with President Xi. I'm pretty sure he's jerking him off. He's jacking off that trailer. And confirmed they will visit each other later this year. That's code. That's totally code. He's like, we're gonna visit. We had a very good call. Adorable. Cointelegraph said, Stand with Crypto is surveying U.S. candidates on their crypto positions ahead of 2026 midterms, and the results could determine which politician the industry backs next. Interesting. We've got Bank of America says gold could hit $5K an ounce by 2026, calling it overbought but underinvested. This cracks me up. CZ denies rumors that Jackie Chan will play him in a Netflix documentary, calling the claim false. He goes, "How did this go viral? It's false. I like Jackie Chan, but he's 71 years old." That was pretty funny. Good stuff. Total crypto market cap reclaims 3 trillion today, adding approximately 110 billion. Let's freaking go. Stock Many Lizards posted looks like it in regards to his overextension and rebound incoming. I wanted to repost this tech dev business cycle setup because we have been in the longest pre-parabolic phase ever. And whenever we hit this lower trend line, we get a bounce, and that pushes us into the parabolic phase, which is number go up time. And we like number go up time. Let me check the chat. Dixie said, "Yep, I'll send you the fun video." Mr. Robert said, "But wait, there's more aliens." B exactly. Crypto Goose posted, "Whales are quietly accumulating Bitcoin during this dip." Confirmed via number of entities with a balance of over or equal to 1K Bitcoin. Pretty big spike, actually. Pretty big spike. And then we've got Bitcoin miners just took 17 minutes to find a block. This is the longest time since 2009. I'm assuming that's China re-entering the race. I'm just saying. JP Morgan banked Epstein. JP Morgan is attacking Bitcoin. JP Morgan is short MicroStrategy. Close your accounts with them. Put that money in Bitcoin or MicroStrategy. Let's show them what plebs can do. Guess what, JP Morgan? I don't even bank with you because I live in the sticks, so eat my ass. All in Crypto posted probably my favorite chart, total 2. Eventually, the altcoin space will go to 6 trillion plus. Don't sweat the small stuff. 6 trillion seems absolutely insane, but I'm totally here for it. 1.24 right now. That is a 3x. Let's freaking go. Actually, it's more than 3x. I don't know what it is. Do the math. AO BTC analyst said the end of the previous quantitative tightening was followed by an altcoin bull run. The current quantitative tightening ends on December 7th, just 13 days from now. I thought it was December 1st. When does Fed and QT? Yeah, it's December 1st. So, homeboy got the date wrong. That's embarrassing. Maybe he read the 1 and he thought it was a 7. Maybe he had a... Maybe the 1 had a thick labia. The Kobe SU letter. I wanted to do a follow-up on our key events this week. September PPI inflation data comes out tomorrow, as well as retail sales data, November CB consumer confidence data, and October pending home sales data. And then Wednesday, we got US Q3 2025 GDP data, September durable goods orders data, September PCE inflation data, and September new home sales. And then Thursday, markets close Thanksgiving. Friday, market closes at 1 p.m. We have a short week, but it's busy. Exciting stuff. Portfolio update. 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently down 466. Yes, 467, which is 46.7%. None of the assets are in the positive. Starting from the bottom, Fetch is down 65. Aptos is down 62. Proppy is down 56. Render is down 51. Ondo's down 51. Shib is down 47. ADA is down 46. Doge is down 38. Near is down 37. And Sol is down 18. And then the meme coin portfolio. Tishu said number go up. Exactly. Meme coin portfolio currently down 558. 55.8%. None of the assets here are in the green, and they're suffering quite tremendously, actually. Starting from the bottom, GigaChat is down 159. Snack is down 131. Pepe is down 106. Whiff is down 92. And Doge is down, what is that, 71, 72? And then the narrative portfolio, my favorite and the most stable, currently down only $179, which is, hold on, let me do the math, just under 36% in the red. Tau has been in and out of in profit, but it has literally single-handedly propped up this entire portfolio. None of them at the moment are in profit. Starting from the bottom, Fetch is down 54, VeChain is down 51, Mana is down 49, Pepe is down 46, and Tau is down less than 1, which is pretty impressive. If you guys are interested, this portfolio is made up of one meme coin, one artificial intelligence coin, one decentralized physical infrastructure coin, one real world asset coin, and one gaming coin, and it is absolutely killing it. Eventually, if I do decide to take a loss, which I don't know, I guess we'll decide as a group if this is allowed, I would like to swap fetch for something. Like sell the $46 and put the $46 into something else. But we'll get to that later. Maybe on a pump we can swap fetch for something a little more good. And then last but not least, the perfect entry portfolio currently down 399, 39.9%. None of these assets are in the green. Starting from the bottom, Avalanche is down 60, Render's down 56, Pith is down 51, Sui's down 51, Ondo's down 45, Graph is down 44, Crow is down 30, ETH is down 25, Sol is down 24, and Link is down 15. Tisha said, does JJ like retro Win 9X gaming or just modern gaming? I think just modern gaming, but I did just buy the entire Command & Conquer catalog, which was very exciting. That's about as retro PC as I get. When it comes to retro games, I still have my OG N64 with Conker's Bad Fur Day, Ocarina of Time, Super Smash Brothers, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, all the classics. I got my Game Boys. Anything that I grew up with, born in the 90s, I still have, which I'm very excited about. WF Capital said, get Zebek. J Shear 2.0 said, facts, Zebek is a great choice. Mr. Roberts said, making a trade in any of the ports should be allowed. We have to make it a community decision, though. I don't want to just jump on it because these have been ours. Dixie said, I like retro gaming. Yeah, Tishu, if you are into retro gaming, link up with Dixie, maybe in the Discord. He has like a whole separate house, and I'm not even joking, filled with like retro gaming stuff. It's pretty sick. Okay, 1K to 10K Grok portfolio. We went over all of them. Bitcoin is getting a little red candle at the moment. 87,486. Can't go up forever. We'll see if we hold that moving average on the R side. Jay Shear said, JJ is a man of culture. I mean, couldn't you tell from my beard? I can do the twist. I've done the twist before. Check it out. Do I look like I'm about to commit a crime? Steal the moon or something? Yes. Indubitably. And then I gotta do this. Hold on. It's really hard to do. Maybe I can just hold it like this. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Tisha said, check XO Win 9X, interesting preservation project, and EXO DOS. Okay, I'm gonna actually look into that because lost media is like my nightmare. EXO Win 9X. EXO DOS. Okay. I have been on a physical media spree recently because of lost media. And you know what really trips me out? These Mandela effects. If we're fully relying on just streaming services because of how big of a pop culture influence movies and shows are, if we're just solely relying on these streaming services, what's going to happen when like they completely change whole scenes, like pivotal moments in shows, or the entire show, they change like one whole character? And we'll never know. We'll go back and we'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember that being a dog and not a cat. Or, oh my gosh, I remember them saying this instead of that. And we're all going to think we're crazy, stupid idiots, when in reality, the psyop is in full swing. You know what I mean? I want to have dedicated devices that don't connect to the internet at all. And maybe this is like this is the crazy woodsman in me. But the idea of everything being connected to the internet, everything is a little too much for me. I like my Game Boy has no, networking capabilities. My N64 is the same thing, no networking capabilities. All of these old school things that can't be influenced from the outside. That's just the way that they are. And we're getting to a point, I feel, where that is going to be considered analog, which blows my mind. I also like this newfound culture of people complaining about how all of their stuff has to be smart. like their dishwasher and their washer and dryer has to connect to the Wi-Fi. Like, why? Why on earth would you ever need that? Imagine it's going to get to a point, and we're already pretty much there with like the Tesla subscriptions and crap like that. I think Porsche and Bentley, they're all guilty of it as well, where they can just turn off features in your car because you don't pay the monthly thing. Oh, you only get seat warmers if you pay us $20 a month. What? The seat warmers are in the car. What are you talking about? There's going to be a whole bootleg market for people activating features on their paid for, like, things that they own because of this paid subscription thing that we're heading toward. It's the weirdest thing. They want us to rent everything. It blows my mind. Dixie said, DOSBox Pure Unleashed, probably the best emulation for Win 9X. Has the best one-to-one support. I do like, I recently discovered this, I'm going to call it niche of people building old computers just to play games. I found a pair of RAM sticks that were like 2 gigabytes from like probably 2004, and I sold them on eBay for like a pretty decent amount of money, and they sold instantly. I literally, I listed them. I'm like, these are gonna be up for forever. They literally got bought up as soon as I listed them. I was like, damn, it was pretty cool. Dixie said, if you can afford or have the space, original hardware wins hands down. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean, man. It's cool. It's cool to see. I don't know. My old man brain is very tickled by the idea of people doing that stuff. Mr. Roberts said Battlestar Galactica taught us that a private network is required. Oh, that's what I went to school for, man. That's when I went to my shut down untransferable credits and forgiven student loan school for, was information technology and security. Tisha said, Dixie, check the project I mentioned. It's all as plug and play as can be. That is cool. All right, Dixie, if you haven't already joined my Discord in the description, Tishu, you too, you guys can link up there. I don't want to end the stream and kick you guys off from having a conversation with each other, but I am going to end the stream. So, as always, if Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will have it back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Monday, and good night. I'm excited for Thanksgiving.